People like collecting things, whether they be stamps or stuffed dolls or model cars or really anything. You name it and somebody collects it. Now, I'm a big old nerd, so in my case, I collect a few different things. You know, stuff like movies, video games, comic books, figures, new ways to disappoint my parents past the age of 30, stuff like that, you get the idea. But of all the things I like to collect, there is one thing that's a little specific, sort of like a sub-collection within the collection. You see, I like to collect VHS tapes that contain the Danish dubs of old cartoons. One thing you have to understand about Denmark is that it's a very small country, and as a result, the market for niche interest is also very small. And since we all learn English at a very young age, most adults that are interested in animation, like I am, will most likely want to watch or buy their movies and shows with the English dub. So while new shows and movies in theaters and on streaming obviously do get Danish dubs, finding the Danish dubs of older, more obscure movies and TV shows can be incredibly difficult, and they're very unlikely to ever see a re-release. So if I see them on tape, I grab them. Not necessarily because I think the movie or the dub will be any good, but just because it seems a shame to me to let them get lost to time. I bring this up because my dad helps manage a local Goodwill, and whenever someone shows up with a stack of VHS tapes that they obviously can't sell, and yes, this still does happen sometimes, he calls me up and lets me rifle through them to see if I can find any goodies. And last year around Christmas, he came around with a plastic bag full of cartoon VHS tapes. And let me tell you, it was a goddamn treasure trove. There were a few cool things in there that I know had their fans, like Balto, Swat on the Trumpet, Land Before Time. 4. Ew. But the real miracle happened when I dug deeper and found piles upon piles of what appeared to be cheap knockoff cartoons. Now, I had no idea what most of these movies were, but I was having a great time popping them in the VCR and looking them up online to figure out what exactly had landed in my lap here. And I thought it would be fun to go through just 3 of these movies with you guys in one video. And don't worry, I did go online to look for the English language versions. But I think that's enough introductions for now. Lean back, get comfortable, and let's go cartoon dumpster diving. First up is Anastasia. Yeah, remember Anastasia? The self-admitted fantasy reimagining of the historical tale of Anastasia Romanoff? One of Don Bluth's biggest financial successes, and the one of his movies that did the best job capturing the Disney Renaissance style that dominated theaters at the time? Well, this is the Golden Films version. If you're not familiar with Golden Films, or Good Times as they were also called at one point, it's an animation studio that produced a lot of animated films in the 90s. Most of them being obvious mockbusters clearly meant to cash in on recent movies in the hope that grandma doesn't pay attention when she goes shopping for that last-second birthday gift. Now, I've covered one of their movies before, more specifically their version of The Little Mermaid, which was, The acrobats have arrived. Interesting. Now, this movie was released the exact same year as the Don Bluth version, so it doesn't really copy it in terms of story and such, there's really no way it could have, but it clearly tried to ride the coattails of its release. So let's see if this one can dethrone Bluth. My money's on no. The movie begins with Anastasia still living with the Russian royal family, enjoying a lavish birthday party.
Make a wish, Anastasia. Any wish in the whole kingdom is yours.
I wish we can always be together and happy, just like this.
I'm gonna tell him.
Don't you dare.
Come with me, and we'll run like the wind.
We're not even 2 minutes in and we already have a 2-minute long emotional song about how awesome Anastasia's life is. Oh Christ, look at these visuals. They're so stock they could be the backgrounds on terrible Facebook boomer motivational posts. Just so we get an idea of how ridiculously rich the Romanoffs are, Anastasia gets a whole bunch of Fabergé eggs for her birthday. And all of them contain talking birds, because we really need animal sidekicks to take up half of the 45-minute runtime.
Oh boy, it's about time. I've been cooped up in that rotten egg all day.
That's Cyril. He's the funny one. You can tell because the writers gave him one joke and made him say it in every single scene.
Open mouth, insert foot right in there. Tastes like chicken. Boy, I'll tell you, if I was Czar, there'd be a chicken in every pot. Well, maybe not a chicken, but...
Oh, don't be such a chicken.
Oh boy, now that really hurts. Oh, don't be such a chicken. Gee, that really hurts me. For bravery, for courage beyond that of most normal chickens, I accept this medal. Hey, don't I get one?
Of course, despite her riches, Anastasia is a good girl, and we see her sharing her family's food with starving peasants in a scene that feels straight ripped from Disney's Aladdin. Because I guess you save more money by ripping off 2 movies at a time. And while she's out doing her good deeds, that's when we meet Rasputin and his talking dog getting drunk at a bar. Or at least I think it talks. Like, I'm not really sure because I can't fucking hear it!
Bolsheviks party, get it?
And like, come on, really? This is how you introduce your villain? Just sitting around being a drunk asshole? I mean, just forget everything about real-life Rasputin for a moment and just think of him as a cartoon villain. How is he introduced in the Bluth film? In the Bluth movie, Rasputin walks in with a mischievous grin, immediately oozing of menace, carrying a mysterious green vial, and loudly cursing the royal family. And then later, we see him as a shambling corpse prowling the underworld, getting a badass villain song about how badly he wants to kill Anastasia. It's creepy, it's threatening, it's funny in places, and it's great. And in Golden Films, he, just shoves a girl because he's shit-faced at the moment. Awesome. Rasputin quickly makes himself popular with the Romanovs by curing Anastasia's sick little brother. However, she soon picks up on the fact that he's selling military secrets to rebels for profit and planning an uprising. But of course, she's entirely too busy flirting with a soldier named Alexander to actually, maybe warn her family about it. Predictably, this results in the Romanovs getting captured and her and Alexander being separated.
I will find you, Anastasia. I promise.
I'm sorry, but can someone tell me what Alexander is looking at in this shot? Oh yeah, it's a real mark of a quality production when even the animated characters have to read cue cards from off-screen to remember their lines. And oh good, here comes another emotional song showing us Anastasia and Alexander pining for each other after the Romanovs get caught. Honestly, these might be my favorite parts of the movie. And that's because they allow me to completely clock out for like 2 minutes because I know nothing interesting is gonna happen. So after a while, Alexander finds out that Rasputin has ordered the Romanovs to be shot, and he obviously goes to warn them. All set to Ride of the Valkyries, of course, because damn it, we have 3 public domain songs in our audio library, and we are gonna use them! But Anastasia makes the whole rescue her family thing a little bit difficult.
You can't go down there.
I've got to. Father's waiting. Meet me outside. I love you.
Oh, I'm so happy.
In a few minutes, we can finally be together.
Anastasia, no!
Oh my god! Man, if I don't see that on some out-of-context Golden Films Twitter account, the internet has officially failed. Of course, Anastasia miraculously survives, although she does get amnesia. So Alexander takes her with him to live with his uncle Boris, who is just the most flattering depiction of a Russian person I've ever seen in a cartoon.
This lace goes over, and this one goes under. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, forget it. Oopski poopski. I bumped my little headski wetski.
I'm just gonna take this moment to profusely apologize to all of my Russian viewers. They spend years like this and even end up getting married and having children. Then one day, Alexander takes Anastasia back to her old home. She suddenly remembers everything. She cries about it for a bit, and that's it! The end, apparently. Oh, no, I'm not joking. That is how the movie ends. The bad guy wins. The protagonist's entire family gets killed. And then we spend 10 minutes watching her just live a happy life, completely oblivious to it for years, until her husband randomly decides to bring all of that trauma back in one fell swoop. And she's totally fine with this because she has a kid now, I guess. Look, never mind the historical inaccuracies. I'm no history buff, so I won't even go into those. And it's not like the Bluth movie was even trying to be accurate either. But like, this is how you end an animated children's film? And we're just supposed to clap our hands and consider the happy ending? What the hell is wrong with you, Golden Films? Who wrote this crap anyway? Let's see here.
Oh, no!
Well, we all gotta start somewhere. And I mean, hey, at least he moved on to voice the most famous video game character of all time, and it never got weird.
Oh, nice computer you got here. Can I have it?
So anyway, this is Peter Pan by Burbank Films. From what I gather, they're an Australian company who, in just 8 years, produced over 30 animated films, most of them based on classic literature. And apparently, that includes J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan. You gotta respect the hustle, if nothing else. Now, since this came out so long after the Disney movie, I don't think it's really fair to consider it a mockbuster the same way I do with Golden Films' Anastasia. But with that said, this cover art doesn't exactly inspire confidence, now does it? But hey, maybe the movie itself can prove me wrong. Unlike the more famous Disney version, Burbank's Peter Pan actually begins with introducing us to the different residents of Neverland.
Then, there's the mermaids. cartoon.
And they're all completely identical because we just couldn't be bothered to draw more reference sheets.
Then there's the wild beasts. And I didn't really care for them. The wild beasts are always hunting the redskins.
Who, despite being really stubborn about it at first, are now called the Commanders. Shortly after this, we're introduced to Michael, John, and Wendy, who, in a daring and subversive move for this interpretation of the story, are apparently the children of the Pringles man. Anyway, you know the story. Peter comes to their bedroom when the parents are out to get his shadow, and he ends up taking them all with him to Neverland, intent on making Wendy his and the Lost Boys' mother. And just like in most versions of the story, a jealous Tinkerbell tries to get the Lost Boys to shoot Wendy out of the air by claiming that she's a bird. But do you remember how in the Disney film they just threw random, mostly harmless crap at her? Yeah, no such luck here. They shoot her out of the sky with a fucking arrow like she's a Skyrim guard's knee, and I wrote the script in 2011. Not that she seems to care that much.
Oh dear.
But it does lead to what has to be one of the best exchanges I've ever seen in a low-budget cartoon.
Has her mother arrived yet? She's called Wendy, and she's in great danger from Captain Hook.
No, she's not.
He wants to kill her.
He can't.
Is she safe already?
Not exactly. I killed her.
Now, during all of this, Captain Hook and his crew have caught wind of Wendy arriving on the island. And let's just say that this Hook is, a lot less charming than the Disney version.
Oh, it's not fair. If we can't have a mother, they can't have a mother.
I swear his voice sounds like the one people put on when they're making fun of bad cartoon villains. Smee might sound familiar, though.
But Captain, it's Peter Pan.
That's because that's actually Corey Burton voicing him, the same dude who was Disney Smee's official voice actor from 1983 to 2002. Not really helping your not being a ripoff case there, Burbank. Anyway, the pirates try to kill Wendy with a poisoned cake, though Tinkerbell catches wind of it and saves her because they're randomly friends now, I guess. They also try to kidnap Tiger Lily, the Commander-Chief's beautiful Oh no! Oh no, you're joking. That's not Tiger Lily, right? Right? I mean, holy crap, she looks like Roger from American Dad! The entire kidnapping and rescue of Tiger Lily manages to be incredibly uninteresting, but she does inform Peter that Hook intends to attack the Lost Boys' hideout that night. So when Peter hears Hook imitate the Commander-Chief's voice, he naturally is not suspicious at all and just sends his Lost Boys to investigate one by one.
Peter Pan, you come up. Bow wow.
John, go and see what the redskin wants.
Peter, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's not cool. So, yeah. Peter is a dumbass and everyone but him ends up kidnapped. Of course, the pirates then try to make Wendy act like their mother instead, but, she doesn't exactly cooperate.
Your first duty as pirate mother is to clean up the kitchen.
What? Never.
Oh, come on now, Wendy. It'll be empowering. You'll be a feminist icon. You'll be queen of the house. Like Jodie Miller.
Old floors to wax and scrub, and there's a dirty old ring in the tub. I'll get a maid someday, but till then I'm queen of the house.
Honestly, there's really nothing interesting to say from here. The pirates try to make Wendy walk the plank, but Peter gets everyone else to help rescue her, only for none of them to contribute anything to the scene at all. Oh, and the crocodile is there too, I suppose. I almost forgot he was in the movie. I will say that one nice thing is that all the Lost Boys go home too, and we get to see everyone reunite with their real mothers, including Smee. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually pretty sweet. So yeah, while this one isn't quite as atrocious as other movies of its kind, it's honestly just kind of boring instead. There's no flair or style or charm or personality to this. The story just kind of happens and then ends, so yeah, there's really nothing to say about it. So maybe we need a simpler story. Something with a little more wiggle room, like, say, Puss in Boots. Oh no, this cover is sending me a ton of warning signals already. Look at this cover art. Look at how it says almost nothing on the back except kids only in big ass letters. But I mean, come on, right? It's Puss in Boots. Who can possibly screw up a simple, innocent story like Puss in Boots? Well, I guess we're about to find out. Huh. Why does this have a German title card? That seems wait a minute. 2 to 3 frame walk cycles, barely existing lip syncing, random head shaking, a weird ghostly void off the side of the screen? Uh-oh. Oh no. No, it can't be. Don't tell me this is Dingo Pictures! Oh god, it is! I've taken a wrong turn and ended up in cartoon hell! A lifetime of sin and depravity has caught up to me, and this is my divine punishment! Okay, so for those of you that haven't heard of Dingo Pictures before, first of all, can we, just switch lives? Like, permanently? To make it brief, Dingo Pictures was a German production company that made a ton of low-budget knockoffs of other popular cartoons. How low budget are we talking? Well, I mean, are you looking at the screen right now? This shit makes most people's pocket lint look like fine diamond dust. You might have come across some of their masterpieces if you follow creators like Phalos or Cadicarus, as English dub versions of their movies somehow find their way to DVD and video games, some of the latter released by the equally infamous company called Phoenix Games. I didn't even know these train wrecks came to Denmark, but of course they did. So, I guess it's time to see how they treat dear old Puss in Boots. Oh, I'm sorry. The Cat on Boots, as this one is called in English. Or in German, Der Gästefilmte Katten! I don't speak German. We begin with an aging farmer deciding to let his 3 sons inherit what little he has in life. Which, in true elderly fashion, he does in the most guilt-trippy way possible.
What's wrong with you? Aren't you well?
I'm okay. It's just my back and my legs aren't up to it anymore. It's just too much work for me. It's time for me to retire. I won't live much longer anyway.
No, but judging from your voice, you're planning to haunt your family like some kind of knockoff grudge ghost.
I'm okay. It's just my back.
The oldest son gets the farm, the second oldest gets the donkey, and all the youngest son Hans gets is the family cat. Wow, so one gets a house while the others get a donkey and a cat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just being a jerk on purpose at this point. I bet he left more for the cat than he did for Hans.
And so to my cat Mittens I leave my entire vast boot to the head.
Well, luckily for Hans, the cat can actually talk and is quite intelligent, already offering to make his life a whole lot sweeter from here. And all it wants in return is for Hans to get it a pair of red boots.
Oh, very well. I'll spend my last money on a pair of cat boots.
I'll take phrases spoken by lonely people browsing eBay at 3 AM for 400. And so the cat begins to scheme. Over the next few days, the cat captures a rabbit and a pheasant and gives them to the king as presents, claiming that he was sent by his master Hans, who he convinces the king is a wealthy earl. And for the sake of all of our sanities, I'm just not gonna comment on this nightmarish jester over here. Oh, and just to give you an idea of how smooth this cat can be.
Looks cute, a Puss in Boots. Good day, lovely child. You don't look like your father at all. Aww.
Take note, everybody. These are 3 steps to getting rich fast. You find a local old money dude, you feed him, and then you hit on his daughter and insult him in the same sentence. Works every time. Anyway, the cat overhears from the coachman that the king and princess are planning to take a ride the next day, and he decides to use this as a way to hook Hans and the princess up. He does this by getting Hans to bathe in a lake, only to destroy his clothes and claim that a bandit stole them when the royals dropped by. The king, being a nice guy, then sends the coachman to fetch some fancy royal clothes.
Your servant packed the clothes together. If they don't fit, it's not my fault.
I'm sorry, did I say the coachman? Because I believe I meant to say the best character. Aside from clearly being voiced by a woman doing the world's most half-assed man voice, this dude spends his entire screen time doing nothing but bitch about his job, and it kills me.
What do they have to go out riding for when they have legs, huh? That's what I ask you. Bloody hell, now what's the problem? Stop, start. Stop, start. What's up? Are we driving or not? Okay, I'm stopping already. This way I'll never get to the pub today.
Buddy, I'm coming with you, and I'm buying. You deserve a cold one for being the only actually entertaining part of this train wreck. The cat, of course, is not done yet, and he convinces the local farmers to claim that the land they ride by belongs to Hans, rather than the great magician who actually owns it all. And by convincing, I of course mean threatening with gruesome violence.
The king will soon ride by, and if you don't say that this field belongs to the earl, I'll kill you all.
That's the way he says.
I like the way the music just stops. Like, that is great comedic timing right there. So far, so good. The cat's ploy is working, and the king and the princess are very impressed with Hans's supposed wealth. But the cat recognizes a threat when he sees one, and he goes to visit the magician himself. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say magician? I meant David Bowie in a dollar store wizard hat.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Listen, man, I'm watching a Dingo Pictures cartoon. Clearly, I don't even know what I'm doing here at this point. Don't you have a labyrinth to maintain or some babies to abduct or something?
Jump, magic jump, magic jump, magic jump, magic jump.
Huh, never thought I'd use that clip again. The cat, knowing that the magician can turn into animals, dares him to turn into a lion, then an elephant. At which point the magician decides to one-up the cat and straight up become Birdo, apparently. But the cat then dares the magician to turn into a small animal instead, like, say, a mouse. And once he does so, the cat immediately chows down. And just like that, Hans now has a castle, and in true fairy tale fashion, he gets to marry the princess and gets half the kingdom as a wedding gift. And all it took was a little bribery, deceit, violent threats, and murder to get there. And that's not horrifying at all, because the cat just looks so cute in his little cutie patootie booty wooties. So, yeah, that's Dingo Pictures for you. A 30-minute low-budget retelling of a classic fairy tale. Now, I don't think I have to tell you that this is the cartoon equivalent of going pearl diving in a septic tank, but if I have to say one nice thing about it, it is very true to the original story. Yeah, I haven't actually heard a real telling of Puss in Boots since I was a little kid, and I suspect many of you haven't either, but this is actually how the tale goes. The cat just screws around being a lying, cheating, murderous little shit on his owner's behalf, and we're all supposed to accept him as the hero. The magician, or ogre in the original story, isn't even really a villain or anything. He's just kinda hanging out and minding his own business until the cat comes to straight up murder him and steal his fucking house. Yeah, kids only indeed. Puss in Boots, teaching children to get ahead in life by embracing their most violent sociopathic impulses since 1697. So, yeah, those were 3 of the weird cartoon VHS tapes I got, and believe me, it gets weirder from here. Like, there are some of these where I can't even track down the original source, so let me know in the comments if you want to see me cover those in a future video as well. Until then, I hope you have a great day, and always remember to be kind and rewind. Hey folks, and thanks so much for watching. Like I said, I got more weird tapes, so let me know if you want to see those too. Don't forget to click the like button and leave a comment about other weird, obscure cartoons you had as a kid. I do find this stuff genuinely fascinating. Special thanks go to Silvermoon Ravenwolf, Warren Miller, John Algetz, Andreas Wilsom, The Danish Penguin, Pocket Mouse, Spatial Paladin, John G. Robertson, and everyone else who supports me on Patreon. If you want to support me too, you can find links to my Patreon, Ko-fi, and TeePublic pages in the description below, along with a link to my Discord server, so come join us. And if this is your first time on this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos about weird media in the future. See you there!